Yeah, since I started drinking coffee as opposed to getting, because I used to, when I was working for the old job that I used to work for, I was on the road all the time. I got per diem, so I would pretty much just get like
just spend it on coffee.
Yeah, spend it on like iced coffee like all the time.
Just all that sugar.
Yeah, all that sugar. And so when I came home,
And syrup.
Yeah, when I came home, I was like, that shit probably isn't the best for me, and it's super fucking expensive.
Yeah.
You spend like $6 on a fucking coffee.
I'm trying to wean myself down to black coffee because I only do a little bit of cream when I make it.
No.
But even sometimes I'm like, this is kind of too sweet.
Yeah, I have very specific coffee that I'll drink black, and I won't drink anything else black. Like, I will not drink Folgers black. I refuse. I will not do it. That's swill.
Is it like really bitter?
Yeah, it's just not it's not good coffee. It's got a real bad bitter bite at the end of it, and I can't. Like and Allison will put like creamer and stuff in hers. So, and if it's like a dark coffee, I don't mind if it's like a good dark coffee. But if it's like a super bitter dark coffee, I won't drink it.
I could drink Folgers like some fucking farm animal.
Don't look like I wear overalls. I got some. My all-time favorite coffee is Maple Streets. Maple Streets, their actual like coffee or whatever. But I got some stuff. It's like Cinnabon coffee, like K cups or whatever. And it's really good. Like I do like to drink that black. Like
I think we've had that before.
It's
Cinnabon stuff.
It has a good smell. It smells like a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
It tastes like coffee, but it smells like a cinnamon roll. But and for the most part, I drink my coffee black. But like you really can tell like a difference in quality.
Oh yeah.
Like some black coffee is just offensive. Like it is just unenjoyable all the way through. And then like some coffee will have like you say like a bite, like just that last little bit of flavor you get is like
like you lick someone's asshole.
Yeah. Tastes like pennies.
Didn't you say you tried that Black Rifle coffee?
Yeah, their stuff was actually really good.
Yeah.
So I more prefer like a medium roast as opposed to like a black roast, like a dark roast. And we got their medium roast like whole bean, and I ground it up myself. It was really, really good. It wasn't bitter at all.
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
Yeah.
Because I took some K cups from my place of work one day.
My place of work, very vague.
The place that pays me to work for them.
I ran out of the house. We got them at the shop. And I came in late one day, and I was like, all right. I just grabbed like 4 of them and left.
Yeah. Oh, are they Black Rifle coffee K-Cups?
Yeah, so they got the Black Rifle ones, the Dunkin' Donut ones, like some Starbucks
Come a little
ones.
bit closer to the mic.
Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, there you go.
Dunkin' Donuts like coffee is really good too.
Yeah, I like that one.
I do like Dunkin' Donuts. I think he's got shit coffee is fucking Starbucks. Like everybody that goes to Starbucks gets their coffee full of like caramel syrup and sugar and whipped cream and a cookie and like a kiss, and it's like if
somebody
you just
gives you a hand job in the drive-thru.
like leaned out the window. But if you get like their house blend or whatever, if you get that black, it's really bitter.
Yeah, it's not good.
Really bitter. And old coffee, like that's been sitting in a pot for a while, has a very distinct, almost kind of metallic flavor to it.
Like they fucking microwaved
it.
Yeah.
I've gone through there before, like the one that's over off of the highway there, and
next to Moe's.
Yeah, so like I've gone over there to like get coffee for me and Allison in the morning when I'm coming back from dropping Autumn off at her pre-K school, and like I've gotten it before. It's just cold. Like I was like I want a medium roast, just black coffee.
Yeah.
And they gave it to me, and like it was just like this lukewarm,
like room temperature coffee.
room temperature coffee. It's like, the fuck is
what
this?
What is this? I'm supposed to get my coffee and then wait for like 5 minutes.
Right. It's like, and I cannot stand like cold, like room temperature coffee. Like cold coffee, I'm like, blech. But like room temperature coffee, like you got to take a sip of it and you get it in your mouth first.
Yeah.
And then you're like, blech.
Yeah. There's a lot of times like at work, where I'll be sitting there, I'll get like a cup of coffee, I'm drinking it, whatever, and then I'll get in like a meeting or like, just kind of get focused on something, and then I remember I have coffee and go take a drink, and it's just like ice cold.
No.
And it's like, why is it so cold? Like, it's not that cold in this room, but like the coffee in the cup is like almost frigid.
Oh, yeah. Mom has like a little heating element because I went over yesterday because I had to go get the tire repaired because it had a screw in it.
Oh, nice.
And so, but she has like a little like heating.
In your brand new truck?
In the brand new truck.
Jesus Christ.
Would they deliver it with that in there?
I don't know. I pulled up like after like driving it around that day. I went, God damn it!
You can't have anything.
I was like, I drove that other piece of shit for 5 years and never once had a fucking nail in it. But yeah, Mom has like a little. It's like a little hot plate that she'll put her coffee on, and it keeps her coffee warm.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I need to get me one of those. Yeah. I love little gadgets.
This works pretty good.
Yeah, that thing will burn the hell out of you.
With a Yeti cup?
Yeah, so I'll make it like in the morning before I leave. I leave for work about 6:30, so about 6:15 I'll make it. And I'll take a sip at like 10 o'clock, still burn the fuck out of my mouth. I'm like, what the fuck?
I tell you that, that mug that Emily got me for Christmas that has the podcast logo on it.
Yeah.
That's a really good cup. Like, it'll keep stuff in there like hot for a long time. Like if you have the lid off, it'll stay hot for a real long time. But if you put the lid on and it's got like that seal, like O-ring around it or whatever, like it'll stay hot for hours in that cup.
Do you know what the brand is on that cup?
I don't know. There's no branding on it.
Really?
Other than our logo.
Yeah. Huh.
Which Mary was like, she was like, if you ever start doing merch, you could sell some of those cups. And I was like, technically, we can't sell anything with this specific artwork on it.
No.
Because when we commissioned that artwork, we could only use it for our podcast,
right?
Like on the web.
So we would need to get something else.
Yeah, we couldn't like put it on a shirt.
Or go back to the person and be like, look, we need you to release this to us. How much is that going to cost?
I back in October of last year, we did like the kind of spooky themed episodes, and we got the Halloween version of the theme song made. I was going to try and see if I could get a hold of that person and have them do like a Halloween theme of the artwork.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get a hold of them. Like, I don't know if they blocked me or they just stopped doing art.
Huh.
I was like, well, I'm glad I caught you on the way out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really neat website, that like Fiverr or whatever. It's really cool because you can really kind of do whatever on there.
Yeah. I had looked at like animation, like people who do animations on there, because I was thinking like for the YouTube channel, rather than like just it, being that still image all the way through, have like the first few seconds of like our opening music be some little animation or whatever, just something visual. And I knew that animation was expensive, but I was like, wow, a lot of these people are charging like hundreds of dollars for like per frame.
What?
Yeah. And a lot of it was like, I had a hard time finding animators that were like, doing anything other than like YouTube intros for like companies.
Yeah.
And like 3D renders for like, like your logo or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I had kind of a specific, kind of a vision in mind for what I wanted, and nobody was really kind of matching that. But yeah, I was really surprised. I was like, wow, this like, there's no way our podcast that makes no money am I ever going to spend that kind of money on this? Yeah. I was like, $20, $50 for artwork, that's whatever. I was like, but multiple frames of artwork,
hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds of dollars. I was like, I'll learn Blender or something, animate my own things. It's like this really crude, just like horrible animation.
Should do like a claymation type thing.
Yeah, like stop motion. I think stop motion stuff is really fucking cool. I like to see all like the you ever see like the kind of like behind the scenes where they'll show like the scene that they animated as it plays out, like in the film or whatever the thing might be, but they'll also keep like the real people who are like adjusting the figures and everything. And it was like you could spend, I don't know, an entire day filming like 2 or 3 seconds of video.
Yeah.
Especially like, you know, depending on how detailed you want to be. Like if your character is like wearing a coat, right, and they're walking, but then they turn sharply to the left, you know, their coat would kind of swing around.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't just like turn statically. That would look really weird.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's got to be several instances of like they set up and shoot a scene and then they play it back and they're like, okay, we got to redo it because, you know, this
Oh yeah,
part of it looks
so,
very
yeah.
weird. And you're like, oh fuck, that's like another month just reanimating that one scene.
What's the real famous one? The little cartoon that they used to do is with the English guy and the dog.
Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. Like that's like the most famous like stop motion type deal, isn't it?
That one, and then of course, you know, as far as movies go, Nightmare Before Christmas is, you know, one that a lot of people.
Was that stop motion?
It's absolutely stop motion. Has it been a while since you've seen it?
It's been such a long time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah, it's definitely stop motion.
Yeah, I guess now that I think about it, that does make sense.
Yeah. Chicken Run.
Yeah, I remember Chicken Run, yeah. That was like in the same vein as like Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like the same like studio or whatever.
Yeah, they really have a thing they try to stick to.
Yeah. It's just so... It seems like such a time sink. And it's such a specific style. Like, I feel like stop motion is going to be one of those things that people are either going to really like or they're kind of not going to like at all. So it seems like a huge investment.
I remember one of like when I think of like stop motion, the one I always think of is that VCR like tape that Mom and Dad had with like the Claymation Christmas.
Oh, Claymation Christmas, yeah. God, that tape was in bad shape. That was kind of the funny thing, like, you know, kids these days or whatever, like old movies like that, like only had a limited number of times you could watch it before that tape was unfucking usable.
It'd wear that thing out.
Yeah, I remember we had what was that Disney movie, Quest for Camelot. I really liked that movie as a kid, and I watched that tape like, I don't know, 1,000 times a day.
No.
And like towards the end, it would get to where it would be like, you know, like the music's playing or whatever. It's like, like every like 5 seconds was like that. And I was like, I love this movie.
I remember back in the day, like everybody had like the normal like black, like VHS tapes or whatever. And I remember Nickelodeon had orange ones.
Yeah.
And those were cool.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this is for me. This is for my age group. I remember the Rugrats movie. There was 2 Rugrats movies. There's one where
they went to Paris.
Yeah, is that the first one? Is that the first one or the second one?
I don't know. Is it the same movie where they went to Paris and also got lost in the woods?
They got lost in the woods.
Yeah, wasn't there like a huge scene with like monkeys and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
Is that the same one?
Yeah, they like crashed a train.
Yeah. Some wild ass shit happened.
Yeah, I do remember that because that's when like Tommy was like, I hate you.
Yeah, he like almost kills Dilly. I'm pretty
very dark.
I'm pretty sure there's a scene where he's like holding a rock above his head. And he's about to hit Dill with it. Wow, I forgot all about that. Yeah, there's definitely a part where they like crash a train and then they get chased by monkeys.
Yeah.
And then Tommy almost kills Dill. Yeah, that does happen. And that's really like out of like, you know, that's not the same tone that like a regular Rugrats.
No, you imagine being like a parent, like the fuck is
what
this?
What the hell is happening? What is this Cain and Abel shit you're doing here? I remember like, you know, like Rugrats is a very like low stakes show.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, there's just enough there for kids to enjoy, and then like a little bit for like, you know, because you have like the parents. Whenever the parents were on screen, they were like doing parent stuff.
Yeah.
And it was stuff that like your parents would, you know,
oh yeah,
like they would connect with. Like they walk in on the kids like, I don't know, stabbing each other with a screwdriver, and the parents freak out.
No.
And the kids are like, what are they freaking out about? The kids are just playing, but the parents are like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah. Well, that's what. There's definitely been instances because now I guess they've like rebooted it because I guess Nickelodeon's kind of doing the same thing where they're rebooting all these shows.
They rebooted Rugrats?
Yeah, so it's like computer animated Rugrats now.
Yeah.
And so essentially what they've done is they've taken all the old episodes and just reanimated them.
Really? It's not like new episodes?
I think there's a couple of new episodes.
Remastered old episodes?
It's like remastered these old episodes or whatever. And like there's definitely instances now like where I'm watching it and I'm like I get the parents now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. There's one clip that I've seen on YouTube before where they were giving the grandpa shit about being a heavy sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Stu was like, Dad, you slept through Pearl Harbor. And he was like, I sounded the alarm as fast as I could. And I was like, Christ, that's dark. That's really dark.
That and one of the things I always found interesting about Rugrats too is like they did like a Passover episode.
Like a Jewish.
They told the story of the Passover where Tommy was Moses.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
I remember that.
That's wild.
Yeah. Wow. They was
like all the way up until like the killing of the firstborn. Like
because Dee Dee's parents were like super Jewish.
Super Jewish.
Yeah.
Like very Jewish.
He's like, get around, children. I'm going to tell you about this Moses. I don't know what the hell kind of accent that was. It was definitely
like
not
Transylvania.
We are Jews. I'm going to drain your bank account.
Didn't the Rugrats have one where they became like teenagers or some shit and they were in school?
Yeah, all grown up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of flopped, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that did very well.
Yeah, I think they were like trying to nail that demographic again.
Yeah.
We're going to grow up with you.
Yeah, like,
like,
you
no.
shouldn't.
Like that, I think that kind of makes sense. I kind of understand where they were coming from, but I don't know. I don't really remember a ton about that show. I remember that the premiere, like the first episode, was a big thing.
No.
Because like it was, this show's been off air for however long, and they're bringing them back as adults, whatever, or teens, and like, I don't know, like, I remember watching the first episode, and they're kind of like setting the tone for the show. And there's a part where Dee Dee is she's in like the kitchen and she's like lamenting the passing of someone.
No.
And they're trying to make it seem like it was the grandpa who died.
No.
But it was actually the dog.
Oh, was it Spike?
Yeah, Spike.
Yeah, Spike.
And I was like, well, it was a weird, like, emotional bait and switch.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just strange that they chose to do that. But I do remember there was like a overarching theme of like Dill might be mentally retarded.
I don't remember that.
You remember that? Do you remember that?
No.
And then they reveal in one episode that Phil dropped him on his head when he was a baby. I swear that's real.
I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, I think I watched like the first episode when it came out and like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
They're going to make it realistic. They could like make Dee Dee like pregnant or something.
Yeah. Yeah, our oopsie child. Yeah, I think that
Stu killed himself.
Yeah. It's like, he probably just had enough. Yeah, I think that, like, writing a show for, like, early teenagers or, like, tweens, that's probably, like, that has to be the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're trying to tread, like, a fine line between, like, this is still a child's show, but these kids don't want to get made fun of for watching a child show.
Yeah.
And, like, we don't want to introduce them to adult theme shit because they're not there. They're not ready.
It's just going to confuse them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why there's, like all this
Angelica's
angst.
dad's actually gay or something.
That's like why there's, like, all this angst.
I like... Yeah, and because, like, the demographic that you're shooting for with a show like that is already very cynical.
Right.
So they're like... I remember being that age. And, like, stuff that I did, like, I couldn't let people know I liked it.
Yeah.
Even if it was, like, what the fuck does it matter?
Yeah.
I don't know why that was.
It's so freeing, like, when you hit, like, your late 20s, early 30s, because you're like, I don't give a fuck.
Like, whatever.
I don't fucking care.
I don't have the energy to give a fuck.
It's like, you don't like it? Suck shit. I don't give a fuck.
These girls can't know I like chocolate milk still.
They're not going to want to touch my wee-wee if they see me drinking my Milky Garden.
It's like, dumbass, everybody else is drinking milk, too. Like,
We were talking about the other day when, like, you were in school And you go to lunch, you'd have like a fucking Crispito with a chocolate milk.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Imagine trying to eat that down for lunch.
God.
iron gut. Yeah, stop in a gas station, get a Crispito and a chocolate milk.
And hit the fucking road again.
Yeah.
See what happens.
You just gotta call it a day. I think you just gotta go home.
You call out of work.
The worst is like when you were at school and your stomach was hurting. It's like, but you couldn't shit in the bathroom. Because if somebody walked in, they'd be like, "Hey, somebody's shitting in
Hey,
here."
shit, look at the gay for shitting. Like, you don't shit, dude.
Something's coming out of your butt.
It makes you gay. You're fucking gay.
You're like, "I can't be shit, kid."
Everything was gay. No matter what you did, it made you gay.
When I got old enough to actually start driving, was that sophomore year or whatever it was, anytime my stomach was upset, I would just leave. I wouldn't go check out. I wouldn't do shit. I would just get in my truck and
I'm
leave.
leaving. Bye.
Yeah. You'll notice when I'm not here. So.
They're like, oh, Aaron shit himself. He's not here. You remember, like, so when me and you worked at Troy, and we were lookers and we drove all around or whatever. Do you remember, like, there was, like, that 3-week period where we always ate lunch, like, out of a gas station?
Yeah, for no reason. We could have went anywhere.
Yeah. And we were like, we got to start eating some real food because I feel like shit all the time. And there was always this stretch, like, right after lunch up until about 3 o'clock, where it was like, you know, that's like, what, 3 hours? It felt like 19 hours. It's just such a long, there's so much of the day left.
No.
And I just ate all these bugles.
Ugh.
And it's like, I can't do this. I have to eat, I have to have nourishment.
I ate a bunch of bugles. I drank a Sprite.
I remember one time we got a Little Caesars pizza. We stopped at a Little Caesars, got hot ready, ate the whole thing in the truck, and then went about our way.
That was still one of the best pizzas I've ever had.
I remember that
It
pizza
was
being
so
really good. Yeah, it was like way out in the middle of nowhere too. I don't know where we were.
God,
The
those
worst
days
one.
used to drag.
Yeah.
The worst one I ever had the experience was with me and you when we were working at that fucking warehouse unloading semi trucks. We ate mashed potatoes and fried chicken.
It was mashed potatoes, fried chicken, mac and cheese, gravy. Yeah, because Mom, like, I remember what happened. It was the night before that Mom and Dad had put in an order to, like, get some food from Publix.
No.
Because Publix has, like, fried chicken and stuff like that. You can go get, like, a family meal.
No.
But, like, they gave them, like, double what they ordered. So we just had, like, all this fucking chicken and all this, like, mashed potatoes and whatever. And I was like, well, I'll just bring a lot of this for lunch for me and Wes tomorrow. I was like, hey, don't worry about lunch. I got it covered for us.
Yeah.
And then we ate all of that, like, a lot of it. And then we had, like, 5 or 6 hours left humping boxes out of those fucking trucks.
Awful. It was like 110 degrees in that truck.
That was bad. I thought I was going to die. I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it through
They're
this.
just like laying on top of all these boxes.
I was talking about that time me and you went to Hardee's for lunch that one day. And we got those monster thick burgers. I remember being there looking at each other like, oh, what did we do? We got donuts for sprinkles for lunch one time. Remember that?
Yeah, it ruined the entire day immediately.
Yeah, like right away.
It's way too much sugar at fucking 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It's like, when I was a teenager or a kid, like, I could eat like that, no problem. Just have a fucking iron gut. It wouldn't bother me. But then, like, out of nowhere, it was like, if I don't have a fruit or a vegetable, like, I'm going to end up in the hospital.
Your blood pressure just spikes through the roof.
Yeah, like stage 2 hypertension, like, all the time.
It's like every now and then I'll snack a little bit before I come to bed. Like if I'm like starving, we had like an early dinner.
Yeah.
And I'll be standing in the kitchen. I'll like eat a whole bunch of fucking snacks or something. I'll go to bed and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Shouldn't have done that.
I feel like fucking shit.
I ate a fruit roll up and a pack of Gushers and drank a Coke. All of that. There was nothing about that wasn't sugar. It'd be like if you just stood in the kitchen and just ate tablespoons of sugar.
It'd probably be better for you.
It probably would, yeah.
It's when you got your license, wasn't it? When you took me and you went to go get a roll of cookie dough and chocolate milk.
I remember because I'd always wanted to eat just a whole roll of cookie dough.
Yeah.
And
Really
drink a
wanted
whole
some
thing of chocolate
salmonella.
milk. And so I got my driver's license. I was like, it's time to make dreams become reality. So me and Aaron went to where the Food Depot's at. That used to be like a Save Right or whatever it was.
It was several things.
It was like
Save
whatever.
Right, Winn-Dixie, Piggly Wiggly at one time, I think.
It's whatever the one was.
I think at the time it was Winn-Dixie.
Was it Winn-Dixie?
When we went, I think it was Winn-Dixie.
Whatever it was. There's been a ton of things. And we went in there and got like a whole gallon of chocolate milk and a whole roll of Pillsbury cookie dough.
Jeez Louise.
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
The kind with salmonella in it.
Yeah, so we like got home. I just like took a knife and like chopped it in half and gave Aaron half of it.
Like you're breaking bread.
Like some fat guy. It's like, take this and eat of my body.
Pour a glass of chocolate milk, drink of my blood.
Lord bless this food and the nourishment of our bodies.
God's like, I don't know how. Just eat cookie dough and chocolate milk.
And I remember like I ate like a quarter of like whatever the half of that roll was, and drank some of that chocolate milk. I'm like,
What did I do? You know what I remember about that was you and Aaron came to pick me up from He Who Shall Not Be Named's house for quote unquote band practice.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Because I remember you guys pulled up and both of you were like green around the gills. Like you were just, I was like, what is wrong with you guys? You know, just like, oh, don't talk about this.
It's like, quit being loud.
Like you're hungover, like sugar hangover. I remember Aaron was like, we ate cookie dough, drink chocolate milk. I was like, man, I didn't get any.
Wasn't that we like packed me and you and Aaron and Brandon and Justin in the truck? We like went and got whipped cream and.
You're talking about when we went to the wrestling show at the high school.
Oh yeah.
And we stopped. It was at Winn-Dixie again. We stopped.
We make them ride in the back of the truck.
I think we did. Yeah. And we went into the grocery store and just bought a bunch of shit.
Yeah, a bunch of nonsense.
I remember we got like Doritos and Cool Whip and Bandito masks with little like cap guns, and we were playing. This is gonna sound so bad. You'll have to forgive us for this, but we rolled down the windows and played the Mexican music channel really loudly, and we're screaming Mexican words out of the window and firing our guns with the Bandito masks. Look, we were teenagers, okay?
It's not a good look.
It really wasn't.
Have you ever told the story on here about when we were throwing fucking Cheeto zingers out the window?
God. Do you want to take that one? I don't know. I can't remember if I've told that story or not.
So that's still when you were driving the truck. And then Mom had bought a bag of, pretty sure it was called Cheeto zingers, right?
It was like just crumbs.
It was just crumbs.
It was just some bullshit
It was
crumbs.
the shit in the bottom
bag
of the
and
vat.
resold it.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, they were awful.
Yeah, because they were old Cheetos from the factory
stale.
floor. Yeah.
So we had them in the truck with us, and we were going somewhere. We were good to go to Nanny's, but we weren't going there first. I don't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
So we were just taking fucking Cheeto zingers and humming them out the window. And then a car would come by, would just fucking sling a handful out. Well, we're going up that road by Nanny's house, going towards like the Publix and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, this guy comes by, and we fucking hump some Cheeto zingers out. Well,
I thought we were going the other way, because he turned around like in the middle of the road and chased us back down Punkintown.
Because we had to like, we like veered off.
Yeah, we went up behind the hospital.
Yeah, so I think Gary threw Cheeto zingers at him, and then like I kind of looked behind, and I could see him whip around the middle of Punktown. I was like, that dude's following us now. So we like veer off, and we get to the end to get back onto 61. Well, we take a right going on 61 that just leads you straight back to that three-way. Well, while we're going back towards the three-way, he comes by again. So I have another handful of Cheeto zingers, and I hum them out the window. It's the same guy. And like as soon as we did it, I was like, "That's the same fucking guy."
You're freaked out. He's the same fucking guy. I'll never forget that shit. He turned around again. He turned it right there where you turn left to go in the hospital.
Yeah.
He turned around right there in the middle of the road, and he was on our ass at that point. There was no way we're outrunning him in the fucking Sierra. The thing topped out at 85. And I remember that we went down Punkintown. We went down Harold Road.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to our house. So I just pulled into like someone's driveway off of Harold Road. And he got out. And me and Aaron got out of the car. And then like, I don't know what he was thinking he was going to do.
He wasn't a very big guy.
No, we were both bigger than he was. And he got out and he was just like, hey man. It's not like we were gonna beat his ass. We thought we were in trouble because he's an adult. We just happened to be big kids. He was like, you need to not do that because the next person might not be as nice as me. And then he gets his car and he takes off. I just couldn't fucking believe that it was the same guy. Like, what? That's so fucking funny because like he must have lost his fucking mind in the car. Like, I would give anything to have like dash cam footage of the inside of that dude's car. Like for him to turn around in the first place, he was probably already having a bad day. And then we dinged him again.
He probably like saw us coming up. He's like, "There's those motherfuckers." Just more Cheetos angers came out the window.
We should have when he got out of the car, we should have got out of the truck and kept throwing zingers at him. Get out of here, boy! Take them zingers with you.
Oh man, I remember when Allison was living with Nanny while I was in basic training. Nanny had like made her like a grilled cheese sandwich, but it was like sopping wet with butter.
Oh,
and
like
she
she had toasted, she just melted butter on it. Yeah.
She like gave it to Allison to take it to work, and she like came out on Punkintown and made that left, and she like took a bite. She's like, ah!
Just melted butter sandwich.
She rolled down the window and just threw it, and somebody was coming by, and it smacked her. It just like stuck there.
What is it about Punkintown? You just get hit with food.
I remember when it was me, you again. We were in the GMC, and it was when it was a three-way at Punkintown. Well, something came out of the back of the truck in the middle of that intersection.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
It was like a stick of metal. I don't know what it was. It was garbage, whatever it was.
I was 13 at the time or whatever because I couldn't drive. Well, Gary like jumped out. We pulled over into some guy's yard that was, I guess that house was still there. We like kind of pulled off the road, and Gary ran out in the middle of the intersection to grab whatever the hell that was.
Yeah.
So I just slid over into the driver's seat, and Gary jumped up in the bed of the truck and like slapped the roof, and I fucking floored it.
I don't know why we were acting like we were in a hurry. We weren't.
I think you're a couple of bootleggers.
Yeah. I just threw that chunk of metal back up in the truck, and I jumped up in the bed, and I smacked the roof of the truck. I was like, go, go, go. And he was like, hold on. And he just floors it. And those tires are bald as shit. They had no traction, so we just burned out this dude's fucking yard. I mean, we're like 10 feet from his front door, just kicking.
We fishtailed going around Harold Road and just fucking zoomed out.
Oh, I remember one time me and Gary were coming home. It had just rained, like 5 minutes before we went down this road. It was like the road, like you know where the mental institution is at. Mm-hmm. You make the left and go down there. It's pretty windy. I told Gary, I was like, I'm going to drift around this corner in that old truck. And so, like,
this truck that has absolutely no weight in the back.
Yeah. All the way to the front.
So, me and Gary, like, there's a left-hand turn, like a left-hand curve that goes, it's fucking sharp.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten about it. And so I just cut the wheel as hard as I can, and like never let my foot up off the gas.
Like, you accelerated the whole way through.
The whole way through. And so and we I lose control of it, and we're like half the truck is like is on the road, and the other half of the truck is like in this ditch, like around this corner. And so I whip it back around, and it slinks it back end around. Like once we finally caught traction again, and there used to be like these big posts that were in the ground over there.
It was a guy's fence.
It was a guy's fence.
He had like a cattle fence, yeah.
Yeah. And so we like whipped around, and that old truck's nothing but fucking like wrought iron.
Yeah.
And so we smacked this fence. The fence falls over, and I'm just like sitting there.
Wesley was like stunned. we crashed into that fence, and Wesley's just fucking, he's iron gripping the fucking steering wheel, and he's flooring the gas pedal. And I'm sitting there like, I was like, you need to let off the gas before we shoot off in the other direction. He's just sitting there slinging mud. I remember that because like that first fishtail we did, we probably slid about 200 feet. It was a long way. And then like when you came back around, it was about like another 100 feet. So like we're not in control of the truck for about 300 feet.
For a long time. I remember there was a guy sitting...
That guy on the other side of the street from the fence where we wound up, there was a dude just sitting on his front porch. And I know he saw the entire thing happen.
He heard it before it happened. Because that truck was fucking loud.
I wonder if he was just like, fucking kids. I remember because like we slowly just got back on the road and just drove the speed limit the rest of the way home in utter silence. We got home and you were like, just tell mom and dad we hit a deer. The whole like it hit a deer made of barbed wire. The whole side of your truck was just gouged.
God.
Well, before we get too carried away with stories, let's go ahead and bring in the podcast here. So hello and welcome everybody to episode 72 of the podcast. Apologize for missing last week's episode. We just weekend got away from us. We get a little busy every now and then. You know, I think that's safe to say for most everybody. But we'll try and get another streak going. The last streak we had going was pretty good.
Like 20 episodes.
Yeah, we didn't miss one weekend for a while there. So we will aim to outdo that. So, and also we have a guest with us today, as you've heard. So hello, everybody, say hello and welcome Aaron back to the show. A round of applause for Aaron.
Oh, is this number 4 now? I think it is 4.
You're Aaron's 4th appearance on the show.
I come back about every 20 episodes.
Yeah. Farmer Aaron over here. That's so strange. I never would have guessed, like back when we were younger, that any of us would be where we are.
No.
Like I never would have guessed that Aaron lived on a farm. And had like sheep and chickens. Or that you were like a computer programmer.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming.
I honestly thought I'd be dead by now. So the fact that I'm still alive is pretty amazing.
Life's funny like that sometimes.
It is. Yeah, but it's really funny to like think back, like when we were younger. There was like a good 2-3 year period where the three of us did this doing. We didn't get along, like at all.
No.
Nope.
And it took a while for us to. I think what actually happened was you moved away to college.
No.
And then me and Aaron got closer. And then when you came back, it was like, oh, we kind of understand that there's no reason to be dicks to each other.
Right. Yeah, we all turned into grown adults.
Yeah.
We were no longer children.
No. One of the funny things I remember about, like when you left to go to college, is that neither one of us moved into your room.
I thought it was really weird.
Because
I thought for certain Aaron was going to move in. Like, you had the smallest room.
I feel like I just didn't want to move all my shit.
Yeah. Aaron's room was like a hallway. It was a real long, narrow room. My room was like a perfect square, and then your room was basically a duplicate of the living room, just on top of itself. But we didn't, like, me and Aaron didn't, neither one of us moved into your room. We just kind of turned into the rumpus room. That's where we just fucking made noise.
I remember about my room because my room and your room shared a wall.
Yeah, that was built on top of the carpet.
Yeah, so at one point in time, my bed was pushed up against that wall.
No.
I move around a lot when I sleep, too.
Oh, my God, dude.
So, Gary'd say it'd be like 2 in the morning, and I like fucking fell over and smacked the fuck out of that wall.
So hard. It was like he was standing up straight, and he would punch the wall as hard as he could. And it would scare the fuck out of me. In the middle of the night, it's like somebody's trying to break into my room.
You back in there?
Punch a hole through the side of the wall. Wake the fuck up.
Just like stick your head through.
Like punch through the wall, you have a monster in your hand.
Yeah. There was one time when me and Aaron, we were in your old room. We kind of turned that into like the video game room too. It's like so anytime we played video games, we just played it in there. And me and him, like, it was kind of funny because there was this point in time where, like, Aaron would get home from work at the Mexican restaurant, and I would already be home, and I'd be sitting in there playing video games. And it never failed. Every night, Aaron would come in there, and he would sit next to me and start singing country songs. Like, he would just, I don't know what it was like.
What is this thing we're doing here?
it was just like, it was like his rituals, how he wound down at the end of the day. One time we were sitting in there, and this fucking mouse, like, ran across the floor. Yeah. And me and Aaron just went fucking berserk. And we were like, close the fucking door, don't let him out. And we chased that mouse around your room for, like, I don't know, 45 minutes, just trying to hit it with whatever we could. And I remember Aaron at one point grabbed a BB gun. Like, we had this old BB gun.
You were the one with the BB gun.
Was I the one? Mm-hmm. Well, one of us grabbed, like, by the barrel and, like, overhanded, like, axe swung at this mouse and snapped the buttstock off of that BB gun. I don't know. Were we the only ones home? Because this was, like, at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were being very loud.
Yeah. I'd imagine Dad told John to shut the fuck
up. Yeah, because I think you grabbed a BB gun. There was, like, a random 2x4 in the room, so I picked that up. We're just smacking shit with it, running into stuff.
Like a couple of fucking apes up in the fucking room.
Me and I was talking with Dad. We were talking about that time that we went squirrel hunting. And that squirrel, we blasted that one out of the tree, and the other one like started running across the branches. Yeah. And everybody started shooting at it.
Yeah. There's just pieces of tree branch fucking flying.
How many of there was? It was 5 of us, right? Because there was 3 of us, and then Dad and then Dad's friend, and we all had shotguns.
Yeah.
And like, we were just trying to get that one squirrel. All 5 of us were just. It was like a firing squad. We were blasting this tree with this one squirrel in it.
There was like a good probably 25 shells that got expended.
Like, if somebody who lived near where we were hunting were like, what is going on? Is there like a fucking standoff with the ATF happening over there? It was. We went to fucking war with that squirrel.
I think that squirrel probably died of a heart attack.
Probably. I've only ever been hunting like a handful of times. Like, and aside from the time we went squirrel hunting, like, I've never even seen the thing that we were hunting. Like, I know Dad goes deer hunting quite a lot, and he's, you know,
that's because he's on private land.
Yeah, and he's gotten quite a few deer. But like, I have been. I think I went deer hunting with him one time, and then we went hunting for something else once. And I remember the only thing we saw was an armadillo, and we were just sitting out in the fucking woods in the same spot for like 8 hours, and it was like 20 degrees, and then we left. And I was like, well, I never want to do that again.
No,
I'm the same way about fishing. Fishing bores the living shit out of me because nothing happens.
No.
You throw your line out there, you wait 5 hours, nothing ever happens, and then you leave. So I don't know, like, maybe I would have more fun if some action occurred.
No.
But like, I don't know. I have no desire to do it.
As a father, getting like some peace and quiet.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like real high on
real high up there.
Yeah, real high up there.
Even if nothing's happening.
Yeah, this is like doing heroin.
It's like, I just bring the fishing pole with me so nobody thinks I'm contemplating suicide. I'm sitting here staring at the lake. Well, we actually have a Super Cringe Thursday post that we need to get into.
Yes.
So I guess technically we should have posted one this week, but oops.
Yeah, oopsie daisy.
Par for the course for this show. So in case you didn't see it, this week's Super Cringe Thursday post was, it's one of those fake staged videos, and I just have zero respect for those. And this one in particular was really fucking stupid because it's this guy and he's sitting in like a food court and
eating a baguette.
He's eating a whole baguette and he's got like a bottle of water and he's like, he looks totally groomed and showered and clean. And I didn't even understand like what the thing was at first. I was like, oh, they're trying to pretend that he's a homeless guy.
He's wearing like brand new Nikes.
Yeah. And so like there's a girl, like the other like actor or actress or whatever, she's like standing about there like a KFC in a food court. And she's standing over by the counter and like the camera like pans to her and shows her like looking worriedly over at the quote unquote homeless man.
Yeah.
Eating a whole baguette. And it's just and then like during the course of this video, if you go back and watch it, you can see all the other like patrons looking directly at the camera.
Yeah.
Because there's a dude standing there with a fucking iPhone 10 feet away from these people filming the whole thing. And so everybody in the food court's like, what is that guy doing?
He's probably got like a boom mic.
Yeah, it's like a production crew. Well, she like orders him some food. She orders like a whole bucket. Like she ordered like
a family meal.
Like a family meal. And she brings it over to him. And you can't like hear what they're saying. They're playing some, brain dead pop music over the whole thing. And then like there's a little kid sitting there and like he reaches over and hands the kid a chicken tender or whatever.
No.
I don't know. The whole thing is just like, whenever you see videos of people like helping homeless people, a lot of times they'll catch flack because it's like, oh, you only helped them so that you could record it and then post it or whatever. Mr. Beast actually gets a lot of flack for that same thing. Like
his is a little bit different.
Well, you remember when he paid for all those people to have cataract surgery or whatever?
Yeah.
A lot of people got really mad at him because they're like, oh, you're capitalizing off of the disabilities of others to make money. And it's like Mr. Beast has said time and time again, he was like, well, in order to help people, I have to make money.
Right.
He was like, so what exactly are you mad about? It's not like he's pocketing all this. Right. He's like putting it to the next thing.
And I'm pretty certain that like, didn't he like ask you like, do you want to be on camera for this? Like, I think there's a lot of them that he paid for that they said no, and he still got them the surgery.
Right. Anytime that you post anything like that, like, you have to, like, you see like these prank shows a lot of times, they have to let people know like, hey, we're pulling a prank on you, there's a camera, are you okay if we release your image? That's why sometimes in those prank shows you'll see people's face and sometimes you won't.
Right.
But the videos where people are pretending to help like a homeless person, a fake homeless person, those are so fucking stupid. And it's unreal the amount of views that those videos have. It's unfucking believable.
You think it's just like all
hundreds
bots?
Of millions? I maybe some of it has to be.
Because the reason why I asked that is because like, and most of the time like the captions with like those things is like in broken English.
Yeah.
It's always like something like, homeless man not have food. Good
fucking caveman. Homeless man not have food. Good. Bring him steak.
Nice lady bring chicken. It's like some broken English.
Yeah, it is.
That's what makes me think like, number one, it's from overseas with like some like AI touched up face like person that's like the profile picture, and like if you go look at the feed, it's just a bunch of fucking nonsense.
Yeah. That's a big thing over in China is they have like, they're called like influencer farms, right? So you have like a social media influencer over here. It's usually like some like vapid bimbo who's like
with like huge knockers,
like giant fucking knockers, just fucking double H titties, and then she's like, "Oh my god, you guys, I went to Sephora." It's just this nonsense. But like in China, they'll have like a whole building rented out, and they'll just have these women. These copy-pasted women in all these cubicles making videos like that. And they're just farming that content. It's
so wild.
One of the most dystopian-looking fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because you're not really providing any like tangible good or service.
No.
Like how is this
it's just
profitable?
Something for people to look at. Just sit there just staring at it. Yeah. But the reason that I posted this one for Super Cringe Thursday is just because the whole of it, the conception of the idea all the way through to the execution, it's cringy. It was a cringy thing to do that.
No.
It was cringy. I'm sorry. Like if you, and here's the thing, that video probably made those people $20,000-$30,000. So maybe I'm the cringy one because I'm not going and doing stupid shit like that and making $1 million a year.
Well, I mean, it is kind of interesting because like the more hits and views it gets, the more it kind of tilts perspective in society that this is what you're supposed to do. Like this is the kind of stuff that you're supposed to like. You're supposed to post this cringe, stupid content. Like this is the person that you want to be because this provides you with fame and fortune. That's why so many people want to be musicians and actors and actresses because they make a whole bunch of fucking money.
The bad thing about it though is it's so accessible now.
Yeah.
Like you just can't like, you know. Almost anybody could be an influencer. Like there's a prerequisite you have to be attractive, but there's a lot of attractive people out there. But it used to be that only like 2% of the attractive people, you know, made it to Hollywood, and then only like 1% of that 2% actually made it into movies or TV shows.
No. And then the other people went to the wrong casting couch.
But now it's just like any fucking idiot with an iPhone, you know, as long as you are passable looking, you can just make millions of dollars. And so it was like, well, you know, and I've thought about that too, is like, we place a lot of value in that as a country, as a society, especially with the younger kids, that, you know, we're seeing now, you know, Mary's seeing it where she works, and I see it, or I hear it from, you know, people at my job, is like, they have a hard time, there's no new bodies. There's no new people to come do this job or to come do that job because everybody coming up in the world is just blathering into their phone and making all the money they could ever want to make. It was like, so why would I ever go work a 9 to 5?
No.
Or for God forbid some fucking, you know, trade job where I got to work 80 hours a week. Like, yeah, I can make $150,000 a year doing that, but it's like, why would I do that when I can just sit at home and film my tits?
Yeah. Or,
I'm not going to do that.
Or eat a bunch of food and be a piece of shit.
The fucking mukbangs, man, I don't get that. I really don't get that.
Slurping noodles into a phone.
Like that one woman that she eats the crab legs.
Oh, she the one that like was eating dill pickles?
Yeah. Yeah, just like right in the camera. Some guys watching like, yeah, that's the good stuff right here.
Yeah, like we all know what that's about. some fucking pervert on the other end of the phone.
Her videos particular freak me out just because like I don't like to be dirty. Like I don't like to have.
Yeah, her hands are always juicy.
Yeah, I don't. God, I don't like to have like sticky hands.
Yeah,
like that drives me insane. I don't like to have
shine to her hands.
Yeah, I don't like to have like dirt or like sauce on my face.
Yeah.
And like seeing her just like with all these spices all over her face and just like she's just all wet. It's just like, you know, filleting this crab leg. I'm just like, please go take a bath for my sake. Please go wash yourself.
Just sitting on them juices.
Yeah, it's gross. It freaks me out. There's another one of those like, well, we're helping the homeless people videos that went, I guess, viral or whatever. It was these two people, and they had like a Ford F-150 or something, and they laid a tarp in the bed of the truck, and they made however many gallons that is of like ramen.
No.
To go feed homeless people.
Ugh.
Well, here's the thing.
That was some good old truck bed of ramen.
Yeah. They go and find this one dude at a park where there's no one else around, and he's fully clothed. His clothes are not dirty. He is not dirty, and he's holding a sign that just says "Help." It's just like, obviously he's a plant.
Yeah.
You know. And it's like there's almost like this air of like we didn't even try that hard.
No.
just like as a jab to the viewer. Like, we're insulting your intelligence because there's a lot of you out there who are going to think this is real. And the fucking dude in the super cringe Thursday post, he looks like, I don't know, a college kid.
Yeah.
Like, he just walked off of campus. Like, he's totally fine. And, like, why on earth would anybody look at that dude who's totally groomed and clean, eating a whole loaf of bread and drinking water, and think, oh, that poor man. He doesn't have a bucket of chicken. He has to eat bread.
Yeah, I don't understand. The only reasonable explanation I can come up with is that, like, obviously, like, these types of profiles are, like you said, they're like farming this content.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can think is there's like a bunch of other bot accounts that get ran, and then they just churn through
like
this video to boost the visibility, and then it gets spread out to everyone else. And then you have all these fucking brain dead people go, "That's really nice," and then they go in there and they click the fucking like button, and they go, "I helped."
Have you ever seen the ones where it's like it's a man and a woman, like a wife and a husband, and you see their videos on Facebook a lot, and it's like she is cooking something. She's like showing like, "Oh, guys, you got to check out this recipe," and it's just utter fucking nonsense from beginning to end.
And it's like 30 minutes long.
Yeah, it's like a long video, and the caption will usually be like, "Wait till the end" or something, and then like
Nothing happens.
I'm like, no, nothing happens. The whole video, nothing happens. The whole entire video. There's been instances where they'll post videos like that, and they'll get to the end where she cooked the thing or whatever. She's like, "Oh no, I ruined it." Bye. It's just like she's doing shit like she'll take like a can of green beans and like a can of corn and like a bottle of ketchup and then like a chunk of gelatin and like throw it in a pot and then just like burn it and then like they'll have like 300 million views.
Jeez Louise.
And there's people in the comments like, "Very nice lady, I love your video," and it's like, I don't understand this. Who is this for?
The Bob and Vagine.
Bob and Vagine. Very nice. Bloody bastard bitch.
I wonder if I could make money off off videos of me not helping homeless people in Atlanta.
Just like ignoring them. Just like this video, like the side of Aaron's head, some homeless guy walks by, and it's just facing forward. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next week.
It's kind of funny. So they gave me a new truck for my job, and I had my crew with me one day. And right by our shop, there's always a bunch of homeless people.
Yeah.
Well, the new truck they give us a F750.
Yeah.
So I got automatic windows and all that shit in it. So I can roll down the back passenger windows and all that shit. Well, I had one of he wasn't new at the time, but he was newer. And he was sitting behind me in the back seat, and there's a homeless guy. So I pull all the way up, roll his window down, and fucking lock it. We pull up, and he can see his window was rolling down. He's like, "Please don't do this." We pull up, and that homeless guy fucking beeline straight to him. So now every time he's with me, he just holds his window up.
Oh man. You know, it would be different if like there's different types of homeless people.
Yeah.
Like there's homeless people who like, you know, are not bothering anybody and they're just sitting on the corner because they have nowhere to be. But then you have homeless people who are like, you know,
like crazy,
who are like
People.
insane. Yeah.
And those are the people that hang by the shop. They're like all drugged the fuck out.
Yeah. Like there's specifically in Atlanta, like if you're heading up towards what is that, Memorial Drive? There's a road that goes right through the middle of downtown where all those government buildings are. You know what I'm talking about?
No, that's Capitol Ave.
Is that Capitol Ave? Yeah. Capitol Ave is covered in homeless people. There's tents on the sidewalk everywhere. And it's insane because that area of town is very nice and manicured.
No.
But that's where they set up camp.
I cannot tell you the last time I have been into Atlanta. I don't go there.
I don't go there.
I feel sorry for you that you have to go there
5 days a week.
Jeez.
Sometimes more.
Oh, fuck that.
I specifically avoid Atlanta like the plague.
We'll be on a job too, and they'll like walk by us.
No.
and just start fucking yelling absolute gibberish. Like they're mad at us for working not on their land because they don't have any.
No.
Some of them do have a fucking attitude when you don't give them anything.
No.
Like, who the fuck are you?
Right. Well, it's like, I don't know if I probably told this story before when I was out in Fresno, and like, there's like this bag lady. Like, I'd left my laptop charger, so I had to order a new one. They sent it to like a locker. Mm-hmm. It was like at a Shell station. So I had to like drive into like downtown Fresno. And Fresno's not that great to begin with. Yeah. I'm sorry if you live there, but it's a fucking shithole. And so I like drive into like downtown Fresno and like get out of the car, and there's like 30 fucking homeless people in this parking lot.
Like they're having a convention.
Yeah, and I was like, oh fuck. So like I closed the door because I've rented a car. It's like a brand new 4Runner, and I'm like, shit, they're gonna think that I have money. Yeah, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
So,
like, I'm $5 away from being you.
Yeah. So, like, I'm barely holding it together here. So I like walk inside, like get the laptop charger, and I like try not to make eye contact with anybody. I'm just trying to have like 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
And I come out and I see this lady turn her shopping cart like this and start like walking towards me very quickly. And she goes, hey, 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 like while I'm trying to get in the car, and she like cuts me off.
Oh.
And she's like, I'm talking to you. And I said, I don't have any money. I got in the car and drove away.
Yeah, the ones that are aggressive just piss me off. It really pisses me off. I'm like, I hope you stay homeless forever. Honestly, I do. Die out here. I don't care. Because, like, I understand that, you're down on your luck. You did whatever. The things that happened to you, everybody's got a story. And it's like, and all of us, most people listening to this are, you're just a couple of bad days away from being there yourself. Like, anything could happen to you.
Right.
But just because you're down on your luck doesn't give you any kind of a right to interject yourself into my life.
No.
And be an issue for me.
Right.
As it stands, I can leave and go home. I don't have to be a part of this. So I'm not stuck here with you. So it's like, I don't understand. Like, it's like you said, like the ones that have an attitude, that really gets under my skin. Especially when you try to help them.
Because I don't try to help any of them.
There's been instances like where I've like,
Now, that sounds bad. Me saying I don't help homeless people. You can't trust any of them.
You can only be burned so many times before you're just like, fuck them.
Like, how many times do I have to walk in Quick Trip in Atlanta and hey, you got any money? No. And I'll walk out with all of my shit I bought with my money that I work for.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I thought you didn't have any money. I'm like,
I don't have any money for you.
I'm like, I don't.
I don't say not anymore. You said all this
stuff was free.
All these
missed out.
Just go in there and ask. But like I remember specifically, even here in town, I was going to Chick-fil-A, and I drove past a guy who was clearly homeless, and I felt bad for him, so I was like, I'm going to get him something to eat while I'm here, and I bought like a chicken sandwich meal and everything, and I drove up and I rolled my window down. I went to give it to him, and he took it and he threw it on the ground. And he said, "I need money." I was like, "What the fuck? Like for what?" Obviously, drugs
and alcohol.
I'm like, "You idiot! There was fentanyl in that sandwich." And he would go, "Oh!" And I run his fucking head over.
I don't know if y'all know too much about like Atlanta, but there's a place called Hattie B's in Atlanta. It's off of Moreland Avenue.
I've heard of.
Well, it's kind of close to Little Five Points. And Little Five Points is already full of a bunch of fucking weirdos as it is.
No.
Well, where we park, there's like this homeless guy laying kind of like out behind this building almost. So we walk in, and we saw him when we walked in. So we got done eating, we came back out, and he has a fire. He started a fucking fire. I don't know how he did it.
Isn't that what burned down 85 a while back?
It's probably him, too. Yeah. He had a little fire going, and he's just throwing shit in it. He has like a bucket, like a big clear bucket of just random shit, I guess, that he's acquired.
It was trash day.
Procured.
And he's just taking it, and he's throwing it in there. Well,
batteries, CO2 cartridges.
they fucked up our order and gave us an extra one. So we're like, whatever, we'll give it to this fucking homeless guy out here. So we walk up, give it to him, and of course he's like, thanks, you got any money? And we're like, hey, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
So we're like sitting in the truck watching him for a little bit, and he's taking French fries off this plate and throwing them in the fire. And the funny thing was, the sandwich that they fucked up and gave to us is super fucking hot. It is scorching fucking hot.
Yeah.
Like, the chicken looks black with all the shit they put on it.
Oh, you mean spicy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This motherfucker takes a bite of this sandwich, has nothing to drink. It's like, we can only see the back of him. He takes a bite of it, and he just starts squirming. Like, he's fucking
He's like convulsing.
He is losing it. And I would have felt bad and gave him a water off our truck, but he was asked for fucking money too.
Yeah.
He was already ungrateful.
So we're sitting in the truck dying laughing watching him. And then he'll stop squirming a little bit, throw some more French fries in the fire.
It's like he's appeasing some god.
It's like, what the fuck am I? Why do I fucking come down here?
Yeah.
I've seen 2 homeless dudes cuddle on the sidewalk at Little 5 Points before.
Oh, yeah.
Like the middle of July.
It's not for body heat.
It's like, Dad, first of all, I don't know what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
Because they're both asleep or dead. I don't know.
Were you with me that time that we saw those 2 ladies laying in the grass and kissing each other right in front of those cowboys on that embankment?
Yeah.
Was that you? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that was like, it wasn't like a fucking Pride Month or anything. I don't know what the hell the thing was. It was like we were going to those cowboys, I think. Yeah.
Like homeless people?
They didn't look homeless. They
got in their Fiestas and drove away.
they just were like 2 normal lesbian ladies. They just were feeling the love. And like we drove by and we kind of saw it. And then me and Aaron looked at each other like,
What the fuck is that?
Did we really just see that?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, all right, whatever. I mean, you're 10 feet away from the police station, so you want to wrap it up. It was a very odd thing to see in a town like ours.
Yeah, kiss me next to the Los Cowboys.
Yeah. And that was before we had a gay mayor.
Yeah.
So,
I fucking hate working in Atlanta, though. I can't stand it. Like, I don't mind
I
doing.
can imagine.
I don't mind doing the work. It's all the people in Atlanta that I fucking hate.
Right.
my problem with Atlanta is the infrastructure. The actual road system in Atlanta
fucking
is
horrific.
a fucking nightmare. There's so many like roads that go through Atlanta that are supposed to help traffic flow through the city, but everybody just uses those roads to get to different parts of the city.
Right.
So all of those roads are backed up and fucking gridlocked all the time, constantly. There's never not gridlock.
And I will do anything to avoid 285.
Yeah.
I fucking hate 285.
285 wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't constantly in a state of disrepair.
No.
Like, that road is in terrible shape all year long.
Well, what's the one that's like going north? It's like going north from the west. Like you get off like 20
About
going
75.
east.
75.
No, not 75. 285. Like when you go past like Six Flags Drive. Like
You're talking
that.
about if you're going to take I-20 to 285 north?
Yeah, 285 north.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Like up near. Is it Cumberland Mall that's up there?
Yes.
Yeah, whatever.
If you go north right there, that's Cumberland, because that's right near Truist Park.
Cumberland,
Yeah.
Whatever. They've been doing construction on that overpass for 20 years now.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, I think they're doing one of those diamond interchanges, which I don't understand what the fuck those are. But have you ever you've gone through those before? Like, there's one on the way to the airport where you're in the right hand lane, but then that interchange directs you over to the left hand side and then back to the right hand side. I don't know what that is, and I never get used to that. It's such a weird fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't really drive to the airport anymore. I'll just get an Uber over there.
Well, all the way from your house?
Yeah.
How much does that run you?
The company pays for it.
No.
Ask them. I don't do it as much as I used to, but I'll still charge them for it.
Getting to the airport used to be it didn't used to be quite so bad. Like if you went like the way that most of us go, like if you go down Camp Creek all the way back down that way, but everybody's figured out to go that way now.
Right.
So now that whole all the way from like Thornton Road, whatever it is, that connects all the way down through there.
Oh, I take Fairburn.
That's constantly backed up.
You take Fairburn.
Or is it Fairburn? Yeah, Fairburn Road. And the Fairburn Road.
You can take Thornton.
Fairburn Road goes all the way around and connects to Camp Creek.
Right.
Yeah.
If you take Thornton, there's still a lot of traffic down there because that's a big industrial drive down there.
You know, Thornton is a nightmare. You can tell that they did not expect for that to be an industrial area because all of that industrial traffic comes right off of that 2-lane ramp off of the interstate. And it tries to get over to those warehouses that are like 100 feet off the fucking the side of the road. And the amount of shit that they have built that requires a lot of import and export on just in that small area was so fucking stupid. How many car dealerships are there over there?
That's all of them.
All those warehouses.
Yep.
And then you have like a fucking Burger King in the middle of the whole thing.
Yep.
How does anybody get to that building?
Well, then they've got like a Home Depot back up in there. It's like, how do you?
They where the hospital used to be. Yeah. So it's just like nothing but fucking transfer trucks and flatbeds coming through there all day long at all hours of the day. God forbid if you live off a Thornton Road somewhere.
God.
Like, just there's no good way in or out.
No.
Yeah.
That whole area is so much different than it was like when we were kids. Mm-hmm. Like none of that. Like the car dealerships and everything were there, but like that Walmart was up on the hill. That was it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that was fucking over there. Like some of the industrial park was back up in there, but it's not like it was.
It was
much
much further down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like going like to the left, like towards like if you're gonna go towards like Austell.
Yeah.
Like once you got past like the car dealerships, there was fucking nothing up in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing the amount of stuff that they've built over there, and they're just sticking it wherever they can.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's like, especially like all like the suburbs from like Marietta and Kennesaw, and like it's like slowly like creeping out towards like Douglasville is completely different.
Douglasville is fucked. There's no fixing Douglasville.
No, Douglasville's
where Highway 5 and what's that? Is it Arbor Place Boulevard?
Yeah.
Where that connects, where you have like the Walgreens and then the McDonald's and then there's like a Burlington Goat Factory.
No.
That little intersection right there. There's no fixing that.
No,
that's awful.
That is fucked forever.
No. Well, that infrastructure was not made for.
It was made for traffic like that.
Right. It was made for the traffic like it was when I was a kid.
The problem is the same problem that Thornton Road has, because on either side of the interstate, no matter which direction you go, there's a lot of industry, and all that industry is trying to get back to the interstate. So it has to go through this like commercial / residential area to get back on the interstate, and it's just when you start mixing that traffic in with like normal people, you start having some fucking issues.
Well, it's the same issue that they're going to run into in the town that we live in.
Yeah.
Because that big that industrial drive that they have back there, back behind the recreation department, like. What are you supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Like, the only thing that they've got there is there's a loop that goes around it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're like, exporting whatever you're exporting out of that industrial area and you need to get on the interstate, you have to turn right and go right through the middle of like 3 apartment complexes.
Yeah.
And a fire station, so hope that never backs up. And then right there through all that fucking commercial area where I have like all the gas stations and all the different fast food and everything.
Yeah.
To get to the interstate. And then if you want to go east where Atlanta is, you got to make a left-hand fucking turn, and that backs everything up.
Yeah, the infrastructure out here was not made for... Really, the infrastructure from Atlanta extending out to where we are was not made for what's happening right now.
No.
Because I think they said, like, Atlanta is, like, the 5th fastest growing, like, city with the suburbs, like, a surrounding area. Yeah. I think they said, like, in the surrounding, like, Atlanta metro area, like, out to where we live... I think it's like above 11 million people now.
Good God Almighty, that's too many people. That's too dense.
No,
and then our town is supposed to surpass. We're supposed to be like one of the fastest growing towns now. Well, I mean, you see how many fucking apartment complexes that they put up recently? They're all over the place. They're building new ones over there off Bunkintown.
Nope.
And it's like there's nothing here.
Yeah, I don't know. What are you people?
Yeah.
What are you doing coming out here?
I mean, it's like people that I guess are working in Atlanta. They want to live right next to the interstate, a couple exits down. I don't know, because there's nowhere to live in Douglasville.
No.
All that's taken.
Yeah.
So I guess they just go down an exit. It's going to keep slowly going.
Yeah, but where are all these fucking people coming from?
I have no fucking idea.
I don't think Atlanta's
y'all didn't used to exist a couple years
Atlanta's
ago.
not like a big tech hub. I mean, there's not really.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, you probably see it all the time, like, when they build those townhouses over in Atlanta. Those signs. What do those signs say? Starting at.
There's one kind of off of, I think it's La Vista. So it's not really in Atlanta. It's more like northeast of Atlanta.
Is La Vista off of Bolton?
So La Vista, Briarcliff Road. It's kind of closer to Emory. But I'm pretty sure that's where it's at. But they're putting some up over there starting at $800,000.
What?
God almighty.
For a townhouse?
For townhouses.
Starting at $800,000.
No.
See, when I stopped
for your 800 square foot townhouse.
Nope.
And your no parking.
Nope.
Yeah, because the little like roads that they have in there are thin. I mean, it's like 8-foot lanes. It's small.
Nope. I don't understand how anybody could look at that and go, "That's a really good deal. I think I'll buy that."
I don't know, because they're cropping up all over the place. All over the place. When I was still
somebody's got to be fucking buying them.
Yeah, when I was still going in and out of Atlanta, they were like, I was seeing them. They were like starting at $500,000, which even then is still fucking insane for, like you said, an 800 square foot townhome. Is going to be completely.
We do have a lot of people coming from up north, because we get a bunch of them that come work. They worked for the company up there, and then they came down and started working for us, and we've had like an influx of that here lately.
Coming down like out of Tennessee?
No, from like New York.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's no way that there's that many people that fucking left New York, though. Like, with the amount of housing that they're building, you're talking about 5 million extra additional housing units.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And it's not going to be just one person per unit. It's family.
Right. It's like a family unit.
Yeah. $800,000 for a townhome. You take that $800,000 out where you live, you can get something really fucking nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Put it right up behind Aaron's farm.
But we're actually in a really good area where me and Emily are.
Yeah.
Because, like, I have like 8 acres. My neighbor has like, I think he's like 17 or whatever. The people behind us have almost 50. The people across the road have probably damn near 100.
No.
So everything's taken up around me by people.
Yeah.
No.
People who probably aren't going to want to.
They ain't selling that shit.
All you need is for one of them to die and their kids get a hold of it.
Oh, yeah. Inherit that land and just fucking cha-ching.
That's what I told Emily. I was like,
here comes a Whole Foods.
I do feel eventually they're going to start going down that road and putting fucking neighborhoods and all this other shit. And I was like,
is that a 2-lane road?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, because that road connects all the way from the interstate into town. So I feel like eventually they're going to widen that thing. They're going to bring that up.
But there's not a whole hell of a lot of traffic on that road.
Yeah.
It doesn't get very backed up.
Really, all you got down that road is just the elementary school there.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing is that it really only connects and it doesn't have a huge population anyway. So most of
Which
that
is so odd, because or you can bleep that out.
Yeah. You can bleep out too, if you don't mind.
The place where we live is experiencing a boom in growth, whereas the town down from where we're at,
not very far away.
Yeah, not very far away. I mean, they're essentially right next to one another.
Yeah.
You can kind of just go right into the other one.
Yeah.
Like, there's no growth at all, which is very odd.
It is odd.
Well, sure, I'm sure eventually.
Eventually, it's going to come out
10,
your way.
15, 20 years down the road, it'll start happening. But I told Emily, I was like, eventually they're probably going to start building all these neighborhoods through here. And like you said, somebody's going to die and their kid's going to sell it. And they're going to want to start buying all this land.
And you would think, too, like, as people are moving further away, like, out from the city, and, like, they keep moving further and further and further away, you're leaving all this housing behind you that's got nobody in it.
Oh, I'm sure that there's people in it. The people that are moving out this way are the people who can't afford an $800,000 townhome.
Well, I know, but people are coming from somewhere, so they're leaving something somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, where's this housing that you have left?
Yeah.
I guess Detroit. It's the only place I can think. Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Right here where we live, there's you can go any direction. You leave my house and go any direction. Then there's development for suburbs going on, or subdivisions.
Yeah.
There's two that I know of on the other side of this street, and they're massive. I mean, it's probably going to be I don't know, 100 or more homes.
Right.
And it was like, when you get all those people in here and all those people move in here, that is such an enormous strain on, number one, the infrastructure.
Right.
You have more cars on the road, tearing up the road. You have more people who are having to go in and buy groceries, right? So then the groceries got to restock more often. That's more industrial traffic coming through.
Right.
It's like anytime you have more people always brings more problems.
Yep.
Always. It doesn't matter if it's high income or low income. It's like always.
Regardless.
The more dense the population, the more issues that there are. And it's like, on like all the local pages or whatever, people are freaking out.
No.
They're like, oh, we gotta pack up and move. We gotta get out of here. And I was like, well, then what happens is you become the people who are moving into town and causing problems.
Right.
It's like, if everybody could just stay where they are.
That's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've talked to my neighbor? We've been there for 2 years. I've talked to him maybe 4 times.
You know how many times I've talked to my surrounding neighbors? Twice. I got nothing to say to you.
Yeah, we live next to each other, and that's it.
Yep.
But I'll see him.
Good day.
Good day to you.
I'll wave at him. I've given him some eggs and stuff, but other than that,
Yeah.
Fuck off.
it's like I'm not going to stand by my fence and talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like you. I think you're a good guy, but
Because I don't talk to you.
yeah.
Right.
Because we don't have a closer relationship.
Right.
That's why I like you. There's the people who live directly next door to us. They recently moved in, like within like the last couple of months or so, and I don't even know if I could tell you what they look like.
No.
Like, I just don't know. But the people that live directly across the street from us, I know it's a husband and wife. I know the husband pretty well. I mean, sometimes if we're both outside at the same time, we'll stop and talk to each other. But me and him, we've kind of bonded a little bit over all of the nonsense that's happened a little further down our street.
No.
What with the guns?
What with the guns and the shooting?
The guns and the shooting of the homes. And he was telling me, if it gets any worse, he's like, I'm just gonna fucking leave. He's like, and I don't want to because we've been here for however many years. But it's like, if it gets bad enough,
Yeah. Well, if the violence gets bad, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't have your family in that. It's not okay.
Let's go buy land.
Man, that's the thing though. It's like, especially.
Well, now it's super fucking expensive.
It's super fucking expensive, and it's not really so much the expense; it's the interest rates everybody's charging. Like, interest rates are so extremely fucking high,
Right.
Unbelievably fucking high. Like, if you bought a house right now for, considering how the market is, if you buy a $350,000 house, you could probably get like 1,800 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and like a 7 or 8% interest rate.
No.
And then when the market crashes, and you're locked into that fucking
you're left holding the
interest
bag.
rate, yeah. And then all this, and your house will your best case scenario, your house would only ever be worth $200,000.
No.
You're upside down on that mortgage forever,
No.
for the rest of your life.
So really, the only way to do it now would be to sell your home, buy like 10 to 20 acres, and stick a fucking trailer on it and get that trailer paid off.
Yeah.
Get the land paid off and then build your house.
Well, some trailers that I've seen are really fucking
They
nice.
have like modular homes that they'll bring out and just assemble it
Yeah.
on your lot or whatever. You just lay the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super fucking
Fucking
nice.
nice.
Like, nicer than my house.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
Now, you can put a trailer out somewhere and then just build a fucking porch around it. You wouldn't really be able to tell.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you really wanted a home, you could pay a trailer off pretty quick. You get the land paid off pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's like, and then just build the fucking home that you want.
Yeah. Right here where I live, though, they have, I forget what it's called, but you can't bring in any new modular homes. Like, you can't bring any new trailers into this area.
Right.
The ones that are here
Or like grandfather.
grandfathered in, but like once they're gone, nothing can take its place.
Right.
So, I understand where the city's coming from is they want more permanent residences.
Right.
They can hold more people, which is why there's 7 fucking neighborhoods being built right down the
Right.
street from us.
if I had enough money to buy a house, right, and then pay the mortgage off, whatever it is, and then sell the house to like my friends or like a family member for like $1, just so the bank couldn't get another 30-year loan out of somebody, I would totally do it. Just to fuck with the bank.
Just to fuck with the bank. Suck my butthole, bank.
And like get them like to where it just keeps going. So the bank's like, we haven't made any money off this house in 150 years.
You'd have some fucking suit show up and like blackmail you into some nonsense.
Yeah, and I think too, like,
they'd plant some invasive species in your backyard. Like, oh, we got to condemn your house now.
Yeah, I think like the housing market too. Eventually, it can't continue to go the direction that it's going. It has to. It's got to crash at some point. Like,
that bubble's gonna pop.
Well, they've
eventually.
been doing the same thing that happened in 2008. They keep approving people for these loans that they know they can't pay for.
Right.
It's the exact same thing that's fucking happening.
Right.
The subprime lenders, which was their code word for black people.
Well, they were like giving it to like people and like people that were like had just immigrated the country that like didn't have jobs.
They had no like.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want to get approved for a $500,000 loan? Okay,
absolutely, go right ahead.
Yeah, let's give you this arm.
Yeah,
it's 0% interest for the first 3 years. Like, ooh. It's like, and then he goes up to 57% interest.
Unbelievable.
That's like when we refinanced our house. They were like, "Are you interested in doing it?" I was like, "Nope." No. I was like, "I want a fixed interest rate."
Yeah,
it's like,
fuck you.
I'm telling you what I want.
Yeah,
don't offer me more shit.
We're gonna lock in, and then you're gonna leave me alone. That's what we're gonna do.
It's like when you go to get your oil changed. Just change my fucking oil.
Yeah,
and then leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah,
I don't want windshield wipers. Yes, I know the filter looks dirty. It's a filter.
It's doing its job.
It's what it's supposed to do. Something's wrong with your filter. There's all this shit in it. It's supposed to be clean.
I think it's the same thing that's like happening right now with like cars. Like you like drive by like a dealership and like they've got a ton of fucking cars sitting out there because nobody's willing to pay the fucking price that they're asking for these fucking cars.
Nobody can fucking afford it.
Yeah.
No.
A couple weeks back, we got this thing in the mail. I'll wrap up the episode with this. The Nissan dealership in Kennesaw, they sent out this thing that was like, it was like scratch offs.
No.
And it was like, you know, if you uncover 6 aces, you win a whole brand new car. If you uncover 5 aces, you get $5,000 all the way down to like, I think it was $50.
No.
It was like, you know, the smallest price. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll scratch mine
$50
off.
in cash for the dealership.
Well, no, I think it was a Visa gift card is what the idea was.
Let's say if it's just like $50 credit to this fucking Nissan dealer, I'm still not going.
Yeah, there's nothing I can buy here, like some shit out of the vending machine. Like, but I scratched ours off, and we had I think it was 4 aces. So I thought we had won a $2,000 gift card. I was like, look, I understand that this is probably just some bullshit
scam.
Yeah, just to get you in the door or whatever. I was like, but it's worth a shot. Like, I might as well go ahead and bring it up there. And I brought it up there, and the guy was like, he's like, well, this doesn't mean that you won a $2,000 gift card. He's like, this means that you won a chance to win the $2,000 gift card. And I was like, there it is.
Yeah.
And while we were sitting there, he's taking all this information. He's kind of grilling me questions about my car, like, like, how many miles around, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, he started showing me. He handed me this like pamphlet with like all their deals and sales that they had going on. And he was like, you know, you could get zero money down on this, or like, you know, however many you could lease, blah blah blah. And I just looked at him. I was like, I'm not really looking to increase my monthly payment. And he was like, well, you know, we could probably match it. I was like, I pay $196 a month. And he was like, come on, guy, like, boy, who are you lying to here? I was like, no, I'm dead serious.
No.
And he went and got the sales manager. And the sales manager came over. He was like, are you really paying $196 a month? And I pulled up my Wells Fargo account and showed him. He was like, well, all right, if you ever need a new car, just let us know. We'll be here. He didn't even try. He was like, there's no reason. Like, nobody is going to stop paying. Nobody's going to pay an extra $600 a month. I'm not getting into an $800 a month payment for a Nissan Sentra. You lost your fucking mind.
Well, that's what initially, like, when we started looking at trucks or whatever, because I had like a 2014 Kia Optima, like the hybrid one or whatever. And so I don't drive for work anymore. We got the car because I was driving for work.
Yeah.
So I was driving up to like Cincinnati or wherever the fuck it was I was driving to. So I didn't want something that's going to be guzzling gas the whole fucking time. That's why I got the fucking car. And then so we finally got Allison's car paid off. And I was like, I'm gonna get my truck. Like, we needed to like do projects around the house and shit.
Yeah,
it's like
utility to have.
Yeah, it's like, and doing anything with just a fucking car and an SUV fucking sucks. So I was like, let's go look at trucks. So we went and looked at, like, it was like a 2022 Dodge 1500 like Laramie, and I was like, I think I can talk them down like $10,000. I was like, where they're sitting at, I can probably get $10,000 off, or they'll increase the trade-in value of whatever it is that they're giving me, so that we can try to get somewhere in the ballpark.
Yeah.
And so they came in, like, we took it for a test drive, fantastic, and then so we go in and I sit down, and the guy's like, he like shows me the numbers, and he was like, so what do you think? I was like, we need to come down about $10,000. He goes, we can't do that. I was like, okay, goodbye then.
Bye.
He's like, well, let me go. I was like, get the sales manager. Sales manager came over. I said, we need to come down $10,000. He's like, we can't do that. I was like, what? I know. He just told me that.
He already
told me that. I was like, so goodbye. So he just got up and fucking left. I was like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not going to haggle the price at all?
At all? Not even going to try?
Yeah, not even going to fucking try?
Just tell me to go suck my own dick?
Yeah. It's like, this is literally a used fucking car that you have, or a used fucking truck with like 6,000 miles on it. Like,
I wish that like the dealerships would just cut the pretenses and just tell you what they think of you.
Right.
Like, you said, hey, we need to come down $10,000. The sales manager's like, go fuck yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
And then you
fuck you, guy.
Like, let's go ahead and establish some honesty here.
Yeah.
And then we could get down to the brass tacks.
It's like, and then like, don't come at me with this bullshit, be like, well, you're really taking us to task and like all this shit. It's like, number one, dude, you're wearing a fucking Rolex watch.
Yeah.
And I saw the fucking Duramax, the brand new Duramax that you're driving outside.
You're going to be fine.
Fuck you. You'll be okay. Like, you're not going to get any fucking sympathy from me. And that's why I went with CarMax.
Yeah.
Not CarMax, but Carvana to get the fucking truck that I have.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things I like about, like, the online, like, Vroom and Carvana, even CarMax, too.
Yeah.
Because the price is what the price is.
This is how much we're selling it for.
Right.
If you don't want it, go somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't fucking stand haggling price with someone. I don't want to waste my whole fucking day.
Yeah.
Because you finally get in that car and you go, I already don't fucking like this car.
Yeah. This was not fucking worth it.
That's kind of how it was when I bought my truck, because we went up to the Ford dealership. And I think like the sticker price on it over there was like $30 or whatever it was. Now I had my payment that I wanted to make, and I was like, I'm willing to put $2,000 down, whatever it was. And he was like, well, you still not gonna be around your $5,000. And I was like, well, if you come down $2,000 off that price, it'll work.
No. And
he was like, well, I got to talk and see if we can do that. And he came back. He's like, we do $1,000 off of it. And I was like, no.
Nope.
Did you not listen to me? I didn't say $1,000.
It's like, is $1,000 gonna put y'all under? Like, what?
He's like, man, if we come down another $1,000, they're going to kill my family. Like,
yeah. We're gonna close the doors on this place.
Yeah. Sorry, kids, no Christmas this year.
And it's funny when you stand your ground against them.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do.
Yeah. There have been plenty of times like where we've gone to look at cars. I'm like, no, I was get them fucking leave. Like,
yeah.
I'm not doing this with you.
It's like the dealerships over in Hiram. Like if you take, it was the Dallas Ackworth Highway or whatever. It's that name of that road is C.H. James Parkway because it's Charles Hardy Parkway, and the Hardy family owns like 9 dealerships on that road.
Yeah, all of them.
They are well established.
Yeah.
So like there's no reason, like if I went over there, I was like, there's no reason you couldn't just cut me a fucking deal. I mean, the one guy, like just sell me this truck for $2,000. Just do it. Like
you could give me the keys and nothing would change.
Yeah.
Nothing would change. There would be no issue if you just handed me those keys and I left with that truck. You wouldn't even see it in the books.
Yeah, I have no sympathy.
Like, where do you live? Where's your house?
Yeah.
I want to come see your house.
Yeah, I just have no sympathy for the games that like the used car dealers, any fucking dealership plays. Was like, well, we really need to make our money, and that's really going to hurt us. It's really going to hurt our bottom line. And it's like, well, I don't give a fuck about that. I give a fuck about me.
Yeah.
It's like, don't look at me and tell me you're not going to buy my car for 10 and turn around and sell it for fucking 18.
Yeah.
It's like, do you not understand that at the end of the month I've got like $40?
And if I buy this car, I'll have negative $40.
I'll be in the red. Like, so the only person who's going to hurt is me, buddy.
I'll have anti-money.
Anti-money. Oh no, I've got anti-money. Nigga money. God, it's been, and I don't mean to say this to make it sound like I'm rolling in the dough, because I'm absolutely not, but it's like, it's been so long since like I've been overdrafted. Like, I take great care to make sure that doesn't happen.
Right.
Like, I went from being paid weekly to being paid bi-weekly, and that was a little bit of an adjustment, because like the money that you see in your bank account is not necessarily representative of what your actual money is, because you have bills that come out, every so often. So what I've done is like, I have a note on my phone where I've listed when the dates when everything comes out, and when my next check is going to be. So I'll say, okay, here's the money that I have. I'll go ahead and subtract all the bills up until the next check, and then I'll just use that as my available balance, rather than what the mobile banking is telling me.
Right.
But I remember like when I first like got a bank account and was like just a stupid kid with money, I would be like, when I was with SunTrust, I think at one point I was $200 overdrafted.
Yay!
And I didn't know how that happened. I was like, well, how in the world did they let me buy shit if I didn't have any fucking money?
That used to be illegal.
Yeah.
You'd bounce a check and the cops would come.
But I was just like, man, I remember just like how stressful like that was.
Oh, yeah.
And just being like, because when you're like indebted to the bank, you're like, oh, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for my family?
I'm never going to get my life back.
So now it's like, I would much rather like cut it close every month.
Right.
Than just be like, fucking woo, whatever, like just spending the money. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I tell Emily that shit all the time about like how fortunate I am to like have the job that I do.
Yeah.
So we can afford the shit that we have.
No.
I was like, when we bought our first house, we were so fucking broke.
No.
I was like, if our fridge went out, we
it.
wouldn't have a fucking fridge.
No fridge.
No more fridge.
Yeah. No more food.
I was like, we were fucking struggling.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we had a house, but
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah. You just like this the whole time. Please, dear God.
Nothing break,
Nothing
please.
break. Please, dear God.
Because our dryer went out like 2 months into us buying that house, and I was like, oh, fuck.
There it is. There's my life ruined.
The nice thing about being like broke though is like you kind of have to figure out how to fix things.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be like, well, I'll just go get a fucking new one.
I'll go get a guy like that.
Yeah.
That's the majority of the reason that I know how to do anything.
Right, because you were too broke to go get a new one. I think that's probably most people.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, I think that's about all we got time for today, everybody. Sorry, like the last 30 minutes of the podcast got like really financial, very adult, a little stuffy. Sorry about that, but I think it's an interesting thing to like, especially to talk about that with you two, because like we all grew up as kids with not a care in the world.
No.
I remember what that was like. Y'all remember what that was like, and now it's like, fuck. Like, what happens if I miss a paycheck? Fuck.
Now we know how our parents felt.
Now we all share that fear.
Yeah. When mom and dad said we have McDonald's at home.
Yeah, I get it now. But thank you again for everybody for continuing to listen. Aaron, thank you for joining us today. You're always welcome on the show.
I'll be back in about 20 episodes.
20 more episodes until you get Aaron again. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody who's continued to listen, all the new listeners that we have. If you are enjoying the podcast, make sure you give us a follow on the Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter if you want to, but this is fucking barren wasteland over there. Nothing's getting posted until we can figure out how to get logged back into that account.
Why don't you just make a new one?
I guess we could do that.
No.
We'd have to make a whole new email address, though.
Didn't you say y'all fucked up the name?
Yes, the TV podcast.
TV podcast. And then there was a spelling mistake in the email too. It was Thicc Bois podcast.
Yeah.
Instead of Thicc Bois.
Yeah, we were just too lazy to fix
And then
it.
there's TB podcast.
It was like the running joke, like everything's misspelled.
Everything's off by one letter. It's gonna be a nightmare to keep track of. Wait, which file was this misspelled? Well, do you have anything you'd like to close with, Wes?
Nope. As always, thank you so much for the continued support. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us again. If you enjoyed the podcast, remember to like or subscribe and leave a rating and or review on your favorite podcast platform. It helps with the algorithm gods to help us to appease them. And just thank you for the continued support. We really appreciate it.
Look, if Instagram can get away with a pedophile child porn algorithm.
What?
Oh, you didn't hear? We'll cover that next episode.
Oh, okay.
We can get away with a little bit of visibility.
Yeah, I would think so.
Ooh, a cliffhanger.
Next time.
Make them want more.
Thicc Bois podcast. I'm going to put the DBZ outro music there. All right, everybody. Thank you and goodbye.